Hello there guys, what's going on then? It's your boy Ben Gregson here, and today I want to showcase what the deck is like in action. Obviously the deck I showed yesterday with Neospatian Connector and Darkworm, and just show off all the things it can do, as well as a really cool game where some things that don't usually resolve, and there's some really cool heads up play. So let's get right into it. Game 1 is against Steambun, a well-renowned dueling book player in his own right. So our hand's like really good. So I don't start with Ravine because Ravine's weak to Ash. So we Dolphin and we look at his hand and we see Imperial Order, Silk, Personal Spoofing, Marionetta, and Evenly Matched. So we take the Silk out of his hand and now we know exactly what to play around. And we know he doesn't have any hand traps, so we're free to go. Providence is actually adding Oracle and then Zefra. I just skipped a step. Then we're going to make Isolde. Isolde is going to grab our Zefra Thuban. Zefrat's going to send Zefranui. And then we're going to scale the Zefra Thuban, Pendulum Summon 2. And then we're going to make our... Well, we're going to search our Zefra Divine Strike and then make Crocodragon. I actually called it Crocodragon instead of Crocosaur for once. That's cool. Chainlink 1 Croc, Chainlink 2 Oracle. We're just going to stack Zefraxi for next turn because at this point I wasn't playing any hand traps in the main deck. So we're just going to overlay for our True King of all Calamities and set the Divine Strike because we have Divine Strike for the Evenly Matched and then Calamities, and I'm going to detach and call Water just in case you drew Melee-Seek. So he's going to evenly me, I'm going to flip the Divine Strike, and then he's going to set 3, so he has Judgment, Imperial Order, Personal Spoofing. So I'm going to activate another Oracle. He's going to flip Imperial Order, we knew that was there. I'm going to normal summon this Zefraxi, so this is 45-61. And then in main 2, we're going to commit to a Pendulum Summon. Not a Pendulum, sorry. We're gonna make Access Code Talker. We call Dark to stop multi-figure. Oh, we make a Unicorn? This game was so long ago, I do not know why we made Unicorn. Oh, this was to make Access Code Talker with multiple materials, that's why I made Unicorn. See, I'm good at this, because then we have a Link 3 engrave, and we also have a Light and a Dark, so we can pop 2 cards. So we'd end up popping the Imperial Order, and like one of these random back rows to turn Zefra back on so that we can Pendulum Summon. We make the Access Code Talker, and then he Solemn Judgments me, and then he realizes he's at 700 life after the Solemn Judgment, and he dies to his own Imperial Order in the draw phase. So that's game 1. Game 2 is against the almighty Adwanbao, and he's playing Shadol. So, he made me go first, which is a bit weird. So we're going to normal summon the Darkworm, grab our Gate 0, Zefrat's going to send the Zefranui, Pendulum summon 2 Zefranuis, and we're going to search Providence and then Divine Strike, which is obviously really good, and then we're just going to make Masquerena. With the Zefranui still in defense mode, just because Zefranui gets ran over, we get a search, and we don't mind that. So our opponent starts with Polymerization. I still don't know what he's playing. I'm assuming this is like Hero at this point. So I'm just going to let this resolve. Then he sends Wendy and Beast. He goes Wendy, Beast, and then Apcalone target my IP, so he forces my IP here. So we're going to make Unicorn. I lose to Shadol Fusion at this point. But we do have Divine Strike, so we're not going to lose to Shadol Fusion as hard. He summons Hedgehog in face down defense position, and then we're just going to Unicorn away his Apcalone. In hindsight, I should have discarded the Mystic Mine instead of the Zefra Thuban, but like I can always get this back with Pelika late in the game, so it's not too bad. So we're gonna negate, and then we draw Wendy for turn, so we're gonna use Zefrath to send Fraxiton here. And then we're gonna normal summon Wendy and attempt to add the Axiton, because we only have 1 arrow, so we're only into Pendulum 1 from our extra. So we'll add back the Axiton. Our opponent's like, think. So I try and put the Axiton back, and then I reveal it, and then I put it in my Spawn Trap card zone, then put it back. So then we're allowed to add it to our hand, and then we just Pendulum Summon 2, being the Axiton and the Zefranui. He Veilers the Zefranui, and we axed on his back row. So I need to have a serious think here, and I completely like miss the fact that I only have dark monsters, so I go for making access code talker, and then I realize that I can only banish one card to pop a card. So I access code talker, pop the hedgehog, because him adding a Stoll is fine, right? And like this is still 5300 damage, which is pretty good. And then we're gonna link the other two into a Cerberus, because this is still a special summon monster. So we get the co-link draw off the Cerberus, and we make this unkillable with card effect, which means Construct can't beat over it. We draw set rotation. We're not going to play the set rotation this turn, we just want to hold our resources. So we're going to punch him for 53 and then 16, bringing him down to 1100 life points. And then our opponent draws for 10. He sets a card, and then uses the trap effect to flip this up. We know this is the Wendy he added off of Hedgehog, so he's going to set a dragon and then super poly away my access code talker. He goes dragon effect, pop the Zefra. We save it with Province for obvious reasons. So this deck has a really good matchup against Winder, just because you can constantly pendulum summon multiple monsters which they can't break through. And then here's where the heads up play comes in, and like anybody that plays Zefra and knows what they're doing will do this occasionally. So I draw Rota for 10, so I'm like, okay, so I have Zefra Thuban, and we can get Zefra enemy from the extra deck. So we're gonna grab the Thuban, and then we're gonna send our Zefra enemy from our deck, and summon the Zefra enemy and the Zefra Thuban, and we're gonna use Zefra enemy to grab Zefra War. Oh, we're gonna grab Providence and then grab War for obvious reasons, just to protect our guys, right? So there's a reason I add War here, instead of just adding 9 pillars off of the Zefra enemy. I can't activate War in his turn, so if I grab 9 pillars, I can't War him, because we have the Gate 0 on our scale, which is like the downside to playing Gate 0. So I set the set rotation, and I set the Zefra War, and then he just goes straight into battle phase and attacks this, and then he attacks it again, and then he attacks it again. Bearing in mind I'm thinking, right? And he attacks it again, and he attacks it again. So I need as many bodies on board to be able to out this. Like, the outs in my extra deck now are quite thin. Like, I believe I still have Underclock Taker left, so I can Underclock Taker this, reduce it, and then punch over it with a normal summon. So he tells me that Zephyr artwork looks creepy, so now he has to die, and he's going to die in the flashiest way possible. So I realize here, if I protect my Zephyr Thuban with Providence, I have a really cool avenue to win the game. So I have access to an extra Zephyr monster here, and I have Zephyr War. So all I need him to do is to set a card I can pop with Zephyr War, or I could just target his window with the Zephyr War and he just won't do anything. But I need my Zephyr War to be live. So he sets Hand Destruction, which for some reason is in his deck. Go Dueling Book singles. So in his end phase, I flip set rotation, giving him a Dragon's Ravine and giving myself the obvious Oracle of the Zephyr. And then we're going to draw for 10. We draw Foolish Burial. This card's literally dead. So we're going to Oracle, and we're going to Oracle for Zefraxi. And then, so notice how he's at 1100 life, right? So we're going to activate the Zephyr War in our back row. Pop our Zefrath and pop his set card. And then we're going to normal summon our Zefraxi, and we're going to declare Zefrath's effect in the extra deck. Summoning Zefrath and punching over Winder for 1250, winning the game that way. Just like really heads up play and like planning to get to this. Whenever you resolve for Zefrath's like extra deck effect, you feel like a fucking god, I tell you. So anyway, onto the deck list. So if you look at the deck, you're probably like, oh, this is a hard go first, it's not playing any hand traps, it probably loses. You're right, it's not as good as Pure. Like I say, this is purely a testing thing. Obviously there is room for hand traps, I just don't know where to put them in. We're playing 1 Ash to stack off of Charge Warrior and Crocker Dragon. But like, that's it. Like, you can draw this, and if you hard draw your 1 of Ash, you're the GOAT, right? So to go over the deck, we're playing 1 Ash, 1 Gizmek Kaku, 3 Neo Space Connector, 1 Aqua Dolphin, 1 Zefran Pilica, 2 Zefra Wendy, 2 Zefra Thuban, 1 Zefraxiton, let's make this full screen. 2 Supreme King Dragon Darkworm, 1 Gate 0, triple Zefrath, triple Zefranui, triple Zefraxi, and then for our field spells we're playing 1 Mine, 1 Set Rotation, 1 Terraforming, 1 Ravine, 3 Oracle, and then the double Shrine and the 1 Foolish Burial as well as Ravine to get to our Darkworm, and then Rota to get to either Neospatium Connector or our Zefra Scales, 3 Providence, 1 Nine Pillars, 1 Divine Strike, and 2 Zefra War. You're probably asking me why I'm playing the deck at 42. So the deck's at 42 because there are quite a lot of bad cards to draw. Like, not bad cards, every card's good, but like you don't really want to draw Aqua Dolphin. So you're just like increasing the probability that you don't draw cards like Aqua Dolphin, right? Because we're not playing Extravagance, it means that we can play our fully stacked extra deck. So we're playing Metaphys Horus, Crocker Dragon, Stardust Charge Warrior, Abyss Dweller, Ptolemy M7. Sheridan's made it back into the deck. Granite, Shrieking of All Calamities, Access Code Talker, IP Masquerena, Isolde, one of the cooler additions to the deck, Cerberus, Phoenix, Unicorn, and Underclock Taker. So one thing you'll take from this is I'm not playing Zefra Path. This is because quite often this is in your scale, which means Zefra Path gets drastically worse, being unable to play it a lot of the time. It is in my deck going first post-side. We side out the Dragon Engine and side in Exchanges, Zefra Path, and I believe I'm on 2 strike in my current sideboard, but I need to keep my sideboard hidden for a tier 2.5 tournament this weekend, and I know a lot of people actually follow my channel that are in that tournament, right? So yeah, Zefra Path's been demoted to the sideboard. Another thing about this list is, like, you're probably going to take this deck and you're going to be like, this is really cool. And like when I first like started testing it, I was like, this deck's dope, right? But you just can't go second realistically. Like you can, like it can go second and it can do stuff, but like against the big spooky boards, you just kind of scoop and go to game 2, right? And then you beat them in game 2 because your deck's very good at going first, and then in game 3 you've got like 9 hand traps in your side deck and you just hope to draw them, because you're playing a combo deck and that's just how combo mirrors go. Like, you have a fairly decent matchup against everything. Calamities is a really broken card. I think, like, the only reason Zefra is on its legs at the moment is because of Calamities. If it didn't have access to it, I don't think the deck would be playable, personally. Like, the real reason to play Zefra is to, you know, have these really cool counter traps and a deck that's basically a toolbox, right? But yeah, Calamities is your main win condition, and making that going first against any team's usually game. And yeah, that's going to be it for the video, guys. If you did enjoy, please hit the like button and consider subscribing. We're almost at 300 subscribers. I might do a Q&A for 300 if you guys are interested. If you are interested in a Q&A, please, you know, leave questions in the comments below, I guess. Or just say that you'd like a Q&A. That'd be pretty dope. Like, I'm not sure if you YouTubers do Q&As, but I'll do one, you know. I'm pretty happy to do a Q&A and chat to you guys properly and get to know you all. Another thing, if you'd like your replays reviewed and you want me to look over them, also leave them in the comments below, or leave like Zefra deck lists that you guys have, or PM me on Dueling Book at Roll Me a Sig or Dilemma. It'd be really cool to look through the deck lists that you guys send me and see what your take on Zefra is. And also stay tuned for a Satella Night Zefra deck list that I will be producing and bringing out to you guys within this week. So yeah, leave a comment on the video. It's always good for the YouTube algorithm and gets my videos out there. And I hope you have a fantastic day. It's almost 12 o'clock at night here. So I'm gonna get this video uploaded and then hit the sec. Yeah, have an amazing night. Peace.